Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might, have this wish I wish tonight.
Yeah, now I'm battling Kuriboh.
On YouTube, it's your boy, Ep36. Alright, welcoming you back to another episode of the 100 Days of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where every day for 100 days, we're dueling with a different deck every single day. Today, everybody, we're taking a look at a blast from the past that goes into the future. It's Fortune Ladies. We're going to be summing out Fortune Lady monsters today, filling up our board with our ladies, and attacking our opponent, banishing stuff, the works. So we got ourselves a 60-card beast of a deck, sent into us via our Discord by Mr. The Hero Hut, who wanted us to take a look at his personal build of Fortune Ladies. So we got ourselves our deck here today. We'll be showing off the combos and the wombos, the what do's and the what not do's, summoning out the dark and the water and the light especially, the synchros are excellent. Could be doing all sorts of shenanigans, of course. So if you want to know the whole deck list that we're going to be taking a look at today, it'll be all featured at the end. But for now, we're going to be going into Yugioh Pro, that Wild West of Yu-Gi-Oh! And showing off what this baby can do. So of course, go ahead and hit the like button if you like what you're seeing, and consider subscribing to the channel to help us keep on going. And for now, let's head on into the action and show off what this baby can do. Alright, everybody, our first opponent of the day in another card game. So with our deck, we'd like to go first. I should have known scissors was the right choice, but paper times two will work too. Alright, so what do we have for an opening hand? It's not like the best hand in the world, but we'll have to make do. Or should I just end my turn? You know, let's just end our turn, make them think we got nothing. Which we don't, but we do, but we don't at the same time. It's a thing where we have stuff, we have things to get started. I just want to see what my opponent's up to first. So as long as they don't get OTK, we'll be totally fine. So the whole idea of our deck, it's a bit, what's the word for it? A bit involved. There's a bit of stuff we need to do. Bit of stuff and a bit of things we need to do, and a bit more monsters we need to have in our hand. But effectively how Fortune Ladies work is that they're like FAs, essentially. Wherever you stand by, they get more levels, and more levels means more attack power. So that's what our hoping is to do. So let's go ahead and let's start interacting with our opponent now that we're starting to see some monster action here. And we'll see what this guy... I really wish this was Fortune Lady Light. Not to say I don't like seeing my tuner. It's just that I'd rather have other things at the moment. Okay. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, one of our best combo starters, Fortune Lady Light, especially since I have the field spell, because a lot of the Fortune Ladies, they have like once per turn sort of effects and things. And what Fortune Lady Light does is if she's removed from the field due to a card effect, she will allow us to, what was it? She'll allow us to summon out another Fortune Lady from the deck, which is really neat. So in this particular situation, let me think about this. I need to get interacted on my opponent. So let's go ahead and make 1 for 1. We'll go ahead and discard one of my monsters. It doesn't really matter who too much. I'll discard Fortune Lady Pass for now. We can get her back later. But we're going to get out Fortune Lady Light onto our board. She is, like I said, the monster that if she leaves, she will get us more stuff. Sadly, this does not work with Birdman, but it doesn't need to. Let's just go ahead and attack our opponent for now. I think me and my opponent are both having a slow start to this duel, so we can take things slow. I'll take 100 damage. Whatever. Doesn't matter to me. But we'll set Super Poly if need be. And I will activate my Future Vision spell. Like I said, this is the best combo with the deck. It's because, you know, any monster that gets normal summoned, that guy gets banished for a turn. You play this against Fluwanderees, they basically rage quit right there because they can't establish anything for a whole turn, too. So, yeah, that'll remove light. That would get me a monster, but unfortunately, not yet. But if I draw another one, then we're in business. Plus, I can always just tribute summon. So, that works, too. That works, too. So, what are we up? But yeah, we're going to be at ditching Radiant, you say. I see. You're underestimating me, I see. You're thinking you don't need Radiant. Well, we'll see who needs Radiant. Actually, what? Let's see. Ooh. We'll see how that works. I do like the token, or like the trap thing. If my opponent puts some of those in the spell trap position, that would be really good. We'll see. Let's go ahead and activate Ghostrick here. Now, there's a few different things we can do with the monsters that we're banishing with this thing. But right now, I'm actually hoping to, like, draw into the card. So we're going to go for Fortune Lady Wind. Because when normal summon, this will destroy spell traps equal to the number of Fortune Ladies on my board. So that's what we're hoping to do in a turn or two. Let's see. Let's see. Ah, yes. Let's use Birdman. This way I can do the Fortune Lady-like combo now. So let's go ahead for Birdman. And we're going to normal summon Fortune Lady Light. Light will activate and banish Fortune Lady. And then that'll summon another monster from the deck. In this particular instance, let's get... Oh, man, who do we get? That is a good question. Because this only destroys monsters. This only works on a normal summon. So I would like to get Water, but I don't think this guy's going to summon any monsters. Water is definitely one of the better cards, because this is special summoned. You have another Fortune Lady, you just get to draw 2 cards. It's not a once per turn at all. Let's get Fortune Lady Earth, though, because she is the biggest one. I could have also gone for, like, one of my other monsters and gone for, like, my Synchro, but we can do that later. We can do that later. That doesn't remove back row, does it? No, it only works on monsters, so that works too. Okay, let's go for Yolden Battle Phase. Since I'm going to be getting rid of my opponent's field in a turn or two, I can just go ahead and just keep attacking them. I don't need to worry about nothing. So we'll attack with Fortune Lady Earth. And Earth, like, if you start off with, like, special summoning Earth, and you can summon out your tuner, that's pretty good. But Earth has, like, the least useful effect out of all of them. She just burns the opponent, basically. That's all she really does. But it can be useful in certain situations. I mean, right now, it's going to be useful. You know, they'll take 400 damage during each of my standby phases. That's pretty neat. If this had been for per level, though, Earth would have been absolutely cracked right there. So, yes, my opponent has made a fatal error. They have put in Spirit Message on the board as a monster. And since it's a monster, and it happens to be a dark monster, this is going to allow me to, like, use Super Poly on these things. So that's good. What are you doing now? Drawing other cards? Okay. Alright. I'm reading you. I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. Okay. So you got your Spirit Message, D and E. Very good. Very good. But we're slowly building into everything we need. Like I said, Wind will be out in a couple of turns if I really need it, which I don't think I'm going to need it. But yeah, Dark Spirit or Banishment will be, well, banished for a turn. So that's good. Don't need to worry about that guy anytime soon. Like I said, Future Vision's really old field spell. But if you play, like I said, if you play this like up against the Wanderers, they don't know what to do themselves. So we'll do some burn damage. We're gonna go ahead and recover our Fortune Lady Light. So we have that. It will gain a level every standby, and then one turn should be clicked off of our Fortune Lady Wind. So let's go ahead. Let's see here. What do I want to do now? I think I'm good for the most part because I can attack him directly right now. So I'm going to go ahead and tribute off Light for Dark. Dark, definitely one of our better Fortune Ladies, because she allows any Fortune Lady, when they beat over things in battle, to revive Fortune Ladies from the graveyard. It would have been really nice if it was the Banish pile too, but that would have been a little too much for the time. But that effectively lets me just keep bringing back, like, Water, for example, and keep drawing cards. So let's see. Is this game right here? I assume they have a hand trap of some form. No? Should have ran Kuriboh. Okay. All right, well, that was a nice quick one. I mean, 11 turns isn't quick, but that's effectively what our deck wants to do. We're just summoning out the Fortune Ladies, gaining some levels, and then hitting our opponent. It's very straightforward when you get down to it. And that was some of the more easygoing combos we had. Like I said, if you get Water in the grave, get Dark on the board, and start beating over stuff, that's when things get crazy. So let's go ahead for duel number 2. Show off more what this deck can do. Alrighty, second opponent. Let's go and do it again. Alrighty, this time hopefully though we can actually get started like right away. I don't like having to sit on my feet for not sit on my feet, sit on my hands for a couple turns. So what do we have for an opening hand? It's an interesting, Kuribohs! It's a Kuriboh deck! I love Kuribohs! We just did Kuribohs yesterday. It was a very slugfest sort of thing. Although I see my opponent's actually playing more of an extra deck, so definitely going to be doing some other things here. So, Duelahan, interesting choice. Interesting. Ah. Oh, that last one doesn't count. This is the actual second opponent. I'm sorry. Just seeing someone try something neat with Kuribohs and then immediately rage quit, just my brain stopped working. My brain literally stopped working. So what are we up against here? Rickas. Okay. Rickas, I think that's going to be just shy of using the Bureau. They can set things up without making 5 monsters, so we'll see. Although, depending on what they're building up into, they're at the level 4. Okay. So, yeah, my opponent's going to be doing his Ricka combos. Good old Snowdrop of a Ricka Fairy, okay. That'll be 3 summons, but yeah, they're probably going to stop it. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Yeah, we're definitely live for Naberu at this point, because there's no way he doesn't make more monsters. Okay, so we're up against Ricka Fairies, a very deceptively powerful bunch. And should I hit them now? I'm gonna wait a minute before I do anything. I could hit him right now. I just don't want to just yet, so I'm gonna turn the chain off and just I don't want to forget to turn it on. All right, so he's gonna be summoning out Lunafire Blossom. And then this thing goes off. What does it do again? Those cards in the graveyard. Some of this card in defense position, bans to the field. Okay, so it comes back. All right, it comes back. Good old plant synchros and shenanigans. Wonder how much of this deck is Rickas and how much of it is a Romages. That's the question. I imagine it's mostly Ricka, although we haven't seen like the Ricka spell traps just yet, so that's curious. It's a little curious there. There's a Romage. Okay. All right. This is going to summon a Romage monster from the deck. Can only summon plants. That's cool. All right. 1, 2, 3, 5 stars. Cool. Very interesting. I'm going to turn the chain back on just in case. In case they try to end their turn right here, I'm going to be smart about this. Because I do want to hit them with this big old rock. That is my modus operandi and all that. I just want to hit him with a big old rock. Let's see. What's your attack going to be? 26. So I got to put this in defense mode, I think. Methinks. All right. Let's go ahead and rock him now. I feel like the rock is about time to do this. So we'll summon out a rock. He can have this smaller rock. Yep, much smaller rock. That's good. All right, so now what can my opponents do in the face of rock terror? That is the operative question. Let's see. That'll work. That'll work just... Ooh, that works actually very well. So we're going to start with Mystical Space Typhoon, because I don't trust this back row as far as I can throw it. All right. Add a Stank Wizard from the deck to the hand. If life point lower than your opponent's, gain 5. Okay, well, that's not going to be relevant, but he gets a monster, basically. He gets Rosalina. He doesn't have any Romages, so that's good. So we're going to summon out this thing, Fortune Lady Wind, as I was trying to do in the first duel. Because when normal summoned, I can destroy spell traps equal to the number of Fortune Ladies I have. And I happen to have just one of them, but that's plenty. Plenty for the moment. I will blow up your other back row card. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got, my stinky brother. You gotta love a Romage. Oh. Well, waste not, want not, as they say. So, yeah, I understand that one. I understand. We're going to activate our Fortune Vision spell. This is very nice. It searches out all of our Fortune Lady cards, like Calling here. And it also has effects depending on when things get banished. You know, if one of my cards gets banished, my other cards can't be destroyed by card effects. My opponents, I take one less bit of damage. It's pretty neat. We're going to use Fortune Calling here and summon out Water. Sadly, Water and Wind are neither of these are tuners. Weird thing about Fortune Ladies, they came out in Synchro era, and yet none of them are tuners. They had to add tuners later. But we'll get Water out here, and like I said, draw myself another couple of cards. I could steal the token. That would be mad disrespectful, but I kind of want to do it. So we'll see. What is my opponent doing? Oh yeah, he has Rosalina, I forgot. He can't use Rosalina, right? Or am I mistaken? Am I mistaken as to how Rosalina works? I don't think so. Or maybe my opponent's just mad. It's possible. I kind of... okay, there we go. I was about to say, I kind of turn off the chat during these duels just so I don't get, like, sworn out by some folk. Some people on EDO Pro are mean, but not all of them are. There's some good people too. But I'm going to steal this monster and prove that I'm not one of those people in this instance. Nope. I'm going to steal this rock token, and I'm going to hit you with it. So let's go ahead for all of the damage. I should mention, because of calling, I can't do anything but synchros this turn. It's kind of a, not quite a weakness of this, but it is something to remember. So we'll attack with a couple of rocks. Sadly, yeah, Lady Wind no longer has any attack points. It would have been game anyway, but it would have been a lot closer. So we'll attack with everybody, and we'll see where this goes. I mean, he's got the Rosalina, so he's not quite done yet by any means. I don't have a Dark Monster, unfortunately, but that's neither here nor there. So he can back that token. That's cool. That's cool and all that. I'm really well, actually, he can't really negate anything of mine, can he? I do have Witch's Strike, which is a really, really nasty trap card in this deck. Or any deck in general, because if anything gets negated, you can destroy everything your opponent's got in their hand, on their board. It was pretty brutal. Okay, that's a Dark Monster, but that's not enough. See, the thing about Aro Mages is once you have more life points than they do, they have a really hard time doing stuff, because they need to have life points. And this guy is like, you know, what we got? Alright, Yasmin's back. Attribute the token. Okay. Okay. Alright, that works. That's cool. That's pretty dang cool. Okay. I work with that. I work with that all day. Alrighty. Let me think about that. See, the thing is, I got Super Poly, but I don't have, like, that many targets for Super Poly in the deck. Personally, when I play Super Poly, I like to run things like Garura and the like, because then it gives you, like, more options to hit your opponent. Well, that's okay. I mean, I don't need Super Poly, I don't think. Maybe, possibly. I have a 7,000 point lead on my opponent, and they're playing Aro Mages. So, while he can still gain life points, he can still do things. Unless he has more than me, he's not going to have, like, total advantage. Rika Petal. Okay. Still doing Rika nonsense. Cool. Getting another plant monster. What's the... I think the worry here is if he can get his rank 8 on the board. We'll see. Alright, I guess there's also... The rank 4 needs to be tributed to do its effect, so he can't do that right now, because he already did Jasmine's effect, so we'll see. Alright, Rika Princess, Rika Petal. You locked into plants, but that's not really a problem for you. So, what are we seeing? The big aroma link monster, perhaps? That is exactly what we're going to be seeing. Old Rosemary gets another stank card. If you gain life points, summon up to 3 Aro Mages from the hand. Tribute a monster this card points to... Oh, you didn't even put this in the wrong zone, my friend. Tribute a monster this card points to. Target card, banish it, gain 1,000 life points. Okay. You'd think you'd put this over here so we could use Petal on that, but I guess not. Alright, but what... You get 1 Aroma card. What is the 1 card he could get? The Fusion Spell, maybe? I forget how the Fusion Spell works. No, you're gonna get, the original thing that lets you gain life points. Angelica, okay. So that'll give him a 1,800 point boost. And if he had any Aro Mages in the hand, he got to summon them, but I don't think he has any. I think my opponent really just wanted to gain life points, which, to be fair, that's what Aro Mages want to do. Alright. Oh, doing something else. This guy, whose name I don't remember. Bengal Lancer. So target effect monster upon controls, take damage equal to its attack. If you take damage, return it to the hand. You're going up... You do realize you have less than 3,000 life points, right? Oh my... Okay, I think they misread what their card did, or they forgot how many life points they had, but... Okay, so they went for it. You gotta respect the man who didn't care. He just like, I will get rid of the beard no matter what happens. So, while that is a very silly way, he went out on his own terms. That's what I'm not saying it's silly. He went out on his own terms, and that is a way a man goes out in a duel. So, very good for our second duel. We got to show off more of what this deck can do. Still seeing it in bits and bops. But we're going quick enough. Maybe we'll have time for a fourth duel. Depends on how the third one goes. So let's go ahead for duel number 0, Trey. Hopefully we can get like everything going as we like to go. Get the waters in the grave. Get Dark to start beating over stuff. That's what we want to see. So let's go ahead for duel number 3. and see what this deck can bring us still. Alrighty, everybody, it's time for the third opponent, the fighting third. And we're going Secundo, which is unfortunate because this is actually really, really, really good opening hand. This is like pretty much picture perfect. I couldn't ask for much better of a hand. Oh, it's even better now. Okay, so we're going to start with Mystical Spook Typhoon. I don't trust back row. Ever. What, Cube? What are you doing? Okay, so we're up against a Watt deck. Those are always neat. I like Watts. And this is just a nice little old equip speller there. So we're going to activate our Future Visions. And we're going to activate our Fortune Vision, which is our continuous spell, getting ourselves more cards. We're going to get Light. Where is Lighty? Lighty. I suppose the only thing that can make this better if I have my draw spell, but that's neither here nor there. So we'll summon out Fortune Lady Light. This will get banished. And now both of these are going to activate. Really good thing about our continuous spell is it allows me to chain block things. I don't want to get Ash Blossom, but I can help it. So Fortune Vision will let us chain block, so now my monsters can't be targeted and destroyed. What was it? My monsters can't be destroyed by card effects this turn, which is good. But we're going to summon out Darky. Good old Darky. Think about like the original anime. They all had like, you know, windy, watery, darky, fiery, etc., etc. But in the TCG, they don't do that, which I think is a waste. They should have done that. But we'll summon out Water, because that'll let me draw some more cards. That's what we like to do. Okay, not bad, not bad. I really wish Past had ability to summon itself, but sadly it didn't. But we should actually be in a really good position here, because if my opponent is playing Watts, the thing about Watts, they're very normal summon heavy, like with Cobra and Giraffe and things of that nature. I mean, they also have like the newer support, and that's true too. Let me think about this. You know what? Considering what my plans are, I'm going to leave the Dragonfly alone. I don't think I need to do anything about this Dragonfly, so I'm good. I'm good. I mean, like I said, he'll summon out his Tuna, his very, very literal Tuna, and that'll get banished. And because my opponent's stuff got banished on his turn, the next time I take damage this turn, it goes to 0. It's just a nice little effect in case my opponent goes for, like, I don't know, Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, she inspires me at Incantation, that old chestnut. Well, it could happen, you never know. But yeah, this will stop me from taking damage. And I think my opponent is realizing the situation they're in at the moment. Because I love Watts to death, but if they can't establish with their normal summons and stuff, you're going to be in some trouble. Let's see. If your monster inflicts damage to your opponent, did do something that's coming from hand. Yeah, good old Watt Tuna. This is definitely one. In terms of like archetypal support, Watt's got some pretty nice stuff. They can even keep OTK on a good day. I don't know. And Watt Tuna helps. You know, like go Watt Cobra, attack directly, search this out. You did damage, summon it out, attack some more. Pretty good. Synchro summon on the turn. Yep. Synchro on the fly. All right, so like I said, we're pretty good. My plan next turn, 100%, assuming my opponent doesn't rage on me, which kind of understandable in this situation, but I would still prefer if they didn't do that. Is, you know, we'll get Lady Light back. We're going to link these two off for whoever, I don't really care. But this way, Dark, I'm sorry. Dark will be able to beat over the Dragonfly, bring back Water. And if I'm really lucky, you know what would be even better is if I top deck into Foolish Burial. Because then I can send Dark to the grave, and then when Dark beats over somebody, I can summon out another Dark. Because that's the thing that these old school cards can do that. They can just, you know, they can break the game essentially. They're archetypally locked to it, but they can break the game with some of their effects. Because this does not limit you to who you're summoning. It has to be a Fortune Lady. Doesn't negate their effects, doesn't stop them from attacking. Something modern Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't allow. So we'll see what my opponent does here. Well, unfortunately, my opponent has timed out. That is rather unfortunate. I get it. I get that they are very frustrated because they're just playing some good old-fashioned Watts. They're playing some old-school cards, too. It's just that, again, any deck that relies on normal summoning to do stuff has a really hard time with Future Visions. I am a little upset that that happened, but you know what? I think we have time for one more duel today. I think we all deserve one more duel today, so let's go in for one more, show off a little bit more of the Fortune Ladies, because we haven't even been able to synchro yet. We haven't needed it so far, but I want the synchro summon. So let's go ahead for one more duel. Try to get that synchro on the board. That's what we want to see. That's the money shot right there. Alrighty, everybody, our fourth and final opponent, the last chance at romance. It's time for us to go all in, all through, and get that synchro on the board. Because we have tuners, we have non-tuners, and I want to see it happen. So what do we have for an opening hand? Alright, going second, not ideal, but I do have stuff. I got my field spell, which is always good. Got Plague Spreader Zambo. So that's pretty good. So we're going to start off our turn. Terraforming. Of course, we're going to get a field spell. That's just what we do. And let's see. No. Man, I want my field spell. Alright, well that's neither here nor there. Let's get our Fortune Lady Water. We'll set a couple of cards and see where this goes. We'll see. It all really depends on what my opponent does. I'm noticing they have there's a 60 card deck with a 13 card extra deck. That's kind of odd. Little odd, not too crazy, but it's a little strange. Plus, they didn't do anything, so I'm assuming their hand's like full of hand traps and things. Or something of that nature. I don't know what their hand is. I'm assuming it's not a great hand, though, but that's okay. You know why? Because no matter what my opponent does, I am going to be synchro summoning now. Because I got my Plague Spreader Zombie, one of my tuners, because you don't need to have a specific tuner or non-tuner for this. Well, you have to non-tuner. It has to be a spellcaster, but the tuner can be anyone you want. So we're going to summon out our boss monster. This is Fortune Lady Every. She is very nice. Because once per turn, she gains a level, and she can banish on my opponent's face-up monsters. It's pretty nice. She also revive herself by banishing our spellcasters in the grave if she is in there during the opponent's end phase. So she's got some of that recoverability, too. So let's go ahead and water. I have normal summon. Let me think about this. I'm just going to attack for now and see where this goes. I could also use Plague Spreader Zombie. Ditch a card from... put a card on my deck, on top of the deck, and then get him back on the board. I could do that if I need to, but right now I'm fine. I think we're okay. I mean, my opponent's got half their life points already. I'm very curious as to what they're actually playing at the moment. So let's end our turn for now and see where this goes. Like I said, with Fortune Ladies, yeah, they got some ridiculous combos that they can go into. Especially if we start, like, looping out... what is this? Ow. Okay, I'm starting to see why my opponent hasn't done anything yet. They literally have nothing but back row hate and stoppage and things like that. Just play the game, brother. Just play the game. Come on. Alright, well, regardless of my opponent's desire to not play the game, Every will be gaining up to 3,200. And I could just end the duel now. That's probably the smart thing to do. But who said anything about having to be smart about it? You know, let's just attack and see. I still don't even know what my opponent's doing. But yeah, ultimately, Fortune Ladies, while they are slow compared to, like, modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, they do have some really cool techs and things that they can do. So, I'm happy to be playing them again, you know? I'm happy about it, and they're doing all right. You know, we're not doing, like, the whole combos and things, but we're seeing a little bit of the combo and quite a bit of wombo. Let's put it's like I'm seeing a 20% combo to an 80% wombo, if that makes any sense. Why? Stop doing that. What are you even playing? Okay, now we okay, what are you actually playing? I need to know. What was this? I have to know what this was. This is a Relinquished deck. Really? That's what this was. Seriously? Well, what goes around comes around, son. What goes around coming... Okay, you had something else. Okay. Because that comes back, right? Or something like that? Yeah. Okay, now we actually have a duel, so that's nice. I like that we actually have a card game, not that it helps you in any means. Actually, you know what? Since you're all so about, like, stopping me from doing stuff, I'm about to do lots of stuff. I'm going to summon my Plague Spreader Zombie, and you thought you got rid of Every for good. No, no, sir. No, 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 no. Not in my house. This is my house now. This is my house. Okay, so we got our Fortune Lady Every. Does this thing just keep coming back? Oh, okay. Well, that's why we saved our normal summon. And we won't be using Lights Windy's effect. We can't use it anyway, so let's just beat over this guy. Okay, so this was a Relinquished deck this whole time? Why do you have so many cards? My dude, your deck is inconsistent. I mean, my deck's 60 cards too. It's not quite as consistent either, but I'm still getting stuff on the board because I'm focused on the goal. So there you go, folks. I think that'll have to do for today because I gotta get dogs walking and all that good stuff. But 4 duels today. We go in undefeated. Yeah, my opponents are pretty casual, but you know, this is a casual-minded deck. So let's go ahead for the end screen. We'll talk more about this deck here. Alrighty, everybody. So, Fortune Lady 60-card draw. We went 3-0 with today's deck. It's been a few days since we've had a 3-0, so I'm actually really happy that we got a 3-0. Granted, my opponents were pretty, low-tier stuff, but you know what? On yugioh Pro, you never know what days you get. Some days we go up against Destiny board, Watts, and Relinquished, and some days we're up against like Bestials and Casteras and Horus and all that stuff we don't like to see. So we got to show off a bit of what this deck likes to do. There were some things we didn't get to see quite as much. You know, Dark didn't really get to do her whole shebang of reviving Dark and water and things like that to beat over everything my opponent loves. We did get to show off like Fortune Lady Wind a little bit. Fire never really had that chance to shine, but she was an option. I can pop and burn a monster, equal to its attack. It's like 1/2 of Red Eyes Dragoon, essentially. But we got to show off, like I said, a good chunk of things. You know, Future Visions under Fortune Vision, best combo starter in the deck. We never saw Fortune in the future, but that's just, draw power. But other than that, we showed off a decent chunk, like I said, of this deck. Maybe about a third to a half of what this deck is really capable of. It's just how the cards went today. But I had a good time. I hope you guys did well. If you did, don't forget to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel to help us keep growing ever and upward, because dang it, that 900 sub goal is right there, and I want it. I want it so bad. All right, but here's the deck list we have for today, and let me know what you think about it in the comments, all the good stuff. So here is what we have. So for our main deck, we got ourselves a Nibiru and a red Winged Dragon of Frost Sphere mode. Couple of Tragodias. Originally this deck had 3, but I found that 2 is plenty. 1 Pank and Spank for destroying my opponent's stuff. We have good old Fortune Lady Earth for burning our opponent. Triple Dark because she's really good. Triple Water because why wouldn't you play Triple Water? We have for ourselves 1 GNX Ally Birdman, which is pretty dang good. 1 Cyber Jar, because on occasion you just need to set a Cyber Jar and just bring out a whole bunch of monsters in one turn, search and draw a bunch of cards. It's pretty decent at just 1 copy is good. We got ourselves 2 copies of Fortune Lady The Wind for backer removal. We got Plague Spreader as one of our tuners. 2 Fire to pop my opponents and burn. This random DD Crow is in here in case you need to banish stuff with your opponent, so that's a thing. We have ourselves 3 copies of Fortune Lady Light because she's the best card to start our combos off with our field spell. 1 copy Fortune Lady Past because we have 2 sync, but we have like 4 synchros in the deck. We only need so many tuners, so we got Fortune Lady Past as like our archetypal tuner monster. We have things like Instant Fusion, 1-for-1, Change of Heart, Rekgeki, Harpy's Phantom Duster, Triple Fortune Lady Calling because it's like the best way to search out just water onto the board for an easy draw 2. We have Mind Control to steal my opponent's stuff, Pot of Avarice if we need to recover cards, Triple Fortune Future, just return a banished card to the graveyard, draw 2 more cards, pretty neat. We have Slash Draw for recovering a whole bunch of cards from our graveyard if we happen to be getting into a grind game. We have things like Terraforming because the field spell's that important. Gold Sark, we have Foolish Burial, Monster Reborn. We have things like Shared Ride in case my opponent tries to, starts searching out a whole bunch of stuff. Triple MST because no one expects the MST. We have ourselves Called by the Grave, Super Poly. We have a Pot of Acquisitiveness in case my opponent's banishing a bunch of stuff and they want their cards banished, like if we're up against like Metaphys or something, for example. Triple Fortune Vision because it searches out any of our Fortune Lady cards. Triple Future Visions because it just puts a stop to any normal summon heavy decks. We have our 1 copy of Imperm. 1 in 60. I can negate a monster effect. Pretty powerful. We have our Evenly Matched in case I just need to wipe a board. Witch's Strike if my opponent tries to destroy my cards. I can just wipe their board out there. We have our 1 copy Fortune Lady Rewind, which can revive any number of Fortune Ladies with different names that are in our banished pile. So I can potentially revive 5 monsters, so that's pretty dang good. And draw off of like Fortune Lady Water, or if I had 2 of them. Ooh, pretty brutal there. And then Call of the Haunted for the same sort of thing. I'm just trying to get back water to get that draw 2 effect. As for the extra deck, we have things like Relinquished Anima, Underclock Taker to make a monster big. We have the Nightmare Trio of Cerberus, Phoenix, and a Unicorn, as well as Griffin, who's not part of the trio. He's the boss of the Nightmares. We have our 1 Degusta Emerald. We have Evil Storm Exciton Knight and our Time Thief for Doer. Exceed summoning is a little tricky in this deck for obvious reasons, but on occasion it can happen. Yeah, on occasion it can happen. We have things like Coral Dragon, our Fortune Lady Every. We have 2 of that thing as our main boss monster. We have 1 Black Rose Dragon for field nukes. We have our 1,000 Archer Strict in case I need to steal an opponent's monster and, you know, stop them or have that monster, that sort of thing. And then we have Starving and Fusion Dragon as our target for Super Poly. And again, you can also include like things like Garura or Mud Dragon as well. It's really up to you. Now, as for the side deck, I did say that this originally had 3 Trigoidia, which is a nice hand trappy sort of monster. Summon it to the board, gets more powerful the things number of cards in a hand. You can discard cards of the monster variety to steal your opponent's stuff, change his level as well. This is basically, if you want to go for the exceeds more often, this is the guy that helps you to go into that. This is like Solitaire Magician, which does have the ability to pop cards by reducing the level of a Fortune Lady, but not really that big of a thing, but it does allow us for more monster removal. There's things like the Phantom Sky Blaster if you want a whole bunch of tokens to go into links. If your opponent's discarding your hand, go for Electric Snake. Old school cool, man. Old school cool. More back row removal, go for Fortune Lady Wind. Same thing for Lightning Storm. There's Dimension Hole. There's also, what was it? I think there was... yeah, this thing, Dimension Gate as well. These 2 cards are really good if you don't have to get your field spell, because you can just straight up remove Fortune Lady Light to start the combo right there. You still want the field spell more often than not, but you know, cards that allow you to straight up remove your monsters from play are not unwelcome in this deck. And then there's more, you know, massive removal things like Dark Hole, Lightning Vortex. Let's see, yeah. If my opponent starts removing my cards, which admittedly I don't want my opponent to have, you know, say on what I get removed. Mirror of the Ice Barrier can punish your opponent if they're starting to banish your cards. There's more Pot of Acquisitiveness across that designator. If you happen to be getting hit with Ash Blossom, you want to run this thing along with Ash Blossom, or if you're worried about being the B-Root, that sort of thing, then go cross out. Time Passage just straight up makes a monster's level go up by 3. So that's pretty useful, especially like things on Earth, if your opponent has like less life points, or, you know, need different levels for our Synchro, what have you may. And lastly, there's Inherited Fortune, which activates when a Fortune Lady which gets destroyed, and you can summon out 2 monsters from your hand during the next standby phase. Very situational, but it can work. So that's today's deck, everybody. I hope you all very much enjoyed it. Tomorrow we're taking a look at another deck donation, the last one for a couple days. We're taking a look at a classic of the 100 Days Yu-Gi-Oh! We're taking a look at our old buddy, the Thunderclap Skywolf, in his very much counter the meta sort of build with the Summon Breaker. So I hope to see you guys again there tomorrow for that day. But until next time, y'all stay safe, y'all stay happy, you have a good one. Take care, everybody.